Hi everyone and welcome back to the FishMarketAcademy, where we teach you how to fish for gains. So in today's video, we'll be exploring EVMOS, which is the bridge between Cosmos and EVM. So if you have found this video useful, do remember to like and subscribe, and let's get started. So as usual, disclaimer, nothing I say is financial advice. So what is EVMOS? So EVMOS is basically EVM and IBC combined together. So if you have wanted to use the Cosmos ecosystem but don't have Kepler wallet because you just want to stick to one MetaMask wallet, then EVMOS is how you can use the IBC ecosystem while on EVM. So EVMOS is powered by Cosmos IBC and the Cosmos SDK, and they aim to be the EVM hub of Cosmos, making it easy for smart contracts to deploy and communicate with the Cosmos ecosystem. So this will allow users and developers to interact seamlessly between chains. So if you have used Ethereum or Kepler wallet before, you might have received a free EVMOS airdrop, and they call it Rektdrop because they're giving EVMOS airdrop to people that got wrecked on the Ethereum chain before. So if you want to find out if you're eligible for it, you can just go to the website over here and you will see this page and it will show you whether you are able to claim. So you launch app. So on the EVMOS page, you can click on claim, but before you can claim, you have to go to claim Rektdrop, and then you have to follow the 4 steps. The last one, you just need to go to another website that uses EVMOS and then make a transaction, and then you can claim it. So I'll be doing that shortly as well. And then with your EVMOS, you can go over to the staking tab, and then you can just select the validator from the list of validators, and then you just click on manage, and then just stick with them. That's all. Okay, next up, how do you get into EVMOS? So EVMOS you can get by bridging your funds via Nomad, Seller, Multichain, or Connects. Nomad is more of like their official bridge because that's the one that has been promoted by the EVMOS team itself. And then once you have EVMOS, you can connect to Diffusion, Kronos, or EVMOS Swap in order to swap your EVMOS into other assets, and you can do yield farming with them. So farming on EVMOS, the most popular one right now is on diffusion.fi. You can actually get around 250% APR for USDC and EVMOS. So this is probably going to be the most popular pool, and it's also the one that I will probably participate in. The next most safe one would be Ethereum EVMOS. This is at 267%, which is very similar to the USDC one. So if you are a bit more conservative, then you would pair with your USDC. But if you are more risk-taking, then you can pair with your ETH, and you can get slightly higher APR, but I think it's more or less negligible. The diffusion pool itself is probably the highest risk pool, so just be wary if you want to participate in this pool. So what is the utility of EVMOS? Apart from paying for developers for their services that they built in through the shared fee revenue model, they also of course have governance as well as registering tokens on the ERC20 model for the EVM IBC integration for ERC20 tokens. And then allotting usage incentives for applications on EVMOS. This is kind of like a grant program where the EVMOS governance holders will decide how to give incentives to various applications for using them. You can think of it a bit like Avalanche Rush, where if you use an application, you can get more AVAX rewards, but in this case, it's EVMOS rewards, and the EVMOS governance holder decide on how much incentive to give to which applications. And then, of course, the main use case of a layer 1 is to enable your applications to compile and run high priority functionalities, which is basically your smart contract engine essentially. And of course, the base case is using it as gas for the layer, which allows for useful high priority functionality. So let's look at EVMOS tokenomics, which is a bit interesting. So there's a total of 1 billion EVMOS that is planned for distribution over 4 years, but it is not a hard cap. So they can actually increase this cap after 4 years, depending on the governance vote on whether how much more they want to print after the 4 year has run out. So it can be 1 billion EVMOS if they don't want to have any more additional inflation. But most likely they will continue to print maybe just a little bit to help with additional stuff like your grants or incentive program, etc. So in terms of the emission schedule, you can see that it's going to be an exponential curve in the beginning. So there's a lot of inflation in the initial 1 or 2 years. And then after year 3 and 4, it starts to die off. And year 4 onwards, I think it will just trickle a little bit more as they just print a bit more for incentive programs, etc. And in terms of the emission distribution, it's going to be mainly staking rewards, followed by usage incentives, as well as the team vesting will be 25%, and the community pool will be 10%. So again, it's going to be quite inflationary in the beginning, as you see that in the first year, or in the second, actually in the first year, about 75% of it will be distributed out already. So just to reinforce again, it's going to be a lot of inflation during the first year. As you can see, about 75% of the tokens will be distributed in just the first year, but it will go through a halving process. So after the first year, second year will be half the amount, followed by third year, fourth year, etc. And just to take note, their official document says that it's going to be deflationary in the long term, because there are some built-in burning process similar to EIP 1559. So as long as more people use it, there'll be more burning. But it's probably more accurate to assume that it's going to be disinflationary as it goes on, in the sense that they'll just inflate less. Whether or not it will be deflationary is still speculative, because it will be dependent on whether or not there will be a lot of usage, which would mean a lot of burning. So if there is not enough usage, there's not enough burning, then it will still mainly just be disinflationary. So in terms of the upcoming developments, the EXSwap is a native DEX building to be the DeFi hub of EVMOS, and they partnered with 42 to launch farming opportunities for future pools on XSwap. And 42 is kind of like the convex of EVMOS, where they will have yield farming and VE token aggregation, etc. So although there isn't any curve of EVMOS, but people are already planning ahead to have the convex of EVMOS, which shows you that people believe that there will be a lot of potential in the EVMOS platform, and they are already planning way in advance. Another development that's coming is Asteroid's Money, which is the first algo stablecoin pegged to the price of EVMOS. Basically, it's a tone fork built on EVMOS. So in conclusion, I think EVMOS is going to be a hotspot for Web3 applications. There's already a lot of different stuff on EVM across all the other EVM ecosystems, and they can all port over to EVMOS because it's all built on EVM and it's easy to migrate stuff over. And for Cosmos ecosystem developers, they can also port their app over into the EVMOS, which allows EVMOS to have the best of both worlds from both Cosmos and the EVM chains. So it's probably going to be very exciting to see the protocols building on EVMOS, especially as EVMOS ecosystem expands and more TVL flows into this unique layer 1. And all the protocols that already exist on EVMs as well as on the Cosmos ecosystem to get ported over and built on EVMOS with their own spin, maybe. And this will attract TVL into the ecosystem, and we can see the ecosystem start to expand further, and there will be probably a lot of opportunities in this new and innovative ecosystem. But at the end of the day, do your own research and invest with caution. So hope you guys found this video useful, and if you did, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!